Hello my dear students, this is Akash SD. Welcome to the ASD physics classes. Hope so you all are doing really great. So students, in this video we are going to see non-uniform circular motion and its types. So first we will see non-uniform circular motion basics, uniform circular motion, just introduction as I have covered in the last video, and after that we will see the types as I have told you. Okay, so see here, the first one is a non-uniform circular motion. What is the basics? Kindly see here. Direction of particle is a varying, and we know also if any particle is moving in a circular path, direction will change definitely. And second one, what is there? Speed of particle is not constant. That means we can tell speed is also keep on changing. How can we see here? Just see one diagram. So here I have taken one circular path of the particle, and particle is moving in an anti-clockwise direction. So let's take at point P, velocity of the particle is Vp, at point Q Vq, at point R VR, and at point S Vs. So here you can see length of Vp, length of Vq, length of VR, and length of Vs is not equal. Here length will indicate the what we can tell magnitude of the velocity, or we can tell speed, is it? So here if we talk about, remember that here at which point speed is minimum, P, then Q, then R, and then S. So this is the which kind of motion? Non-uniform circular motion. And in this situation what will happen, that there will be one centripetal acceleration towards the center, is it? You can see here AC I have written here, AC. Even if you wish, we can write here as the magnitude will keep on AC1, AC2, AC3, and AC4 here, is it? And in this kind of motion what will happen, there will be one tangential acceleration also. That tangential acceleration may act along the direction of the velocity, may act opposite to the direction of the velocity. Okay, so let's see now here the more basics. So see, in this motion, variable centripetal acceleration AC act towards the center due to change in direction of particle, and tangential acceleration AT also acts on the particle due to the change in speed of the particle. So here as I have told you, AC1, AC2, AC3, AC4, what is there? The magnitude of the acceleration is not same, it is varying. That's why here we have written here what a variable. And this centripetal acceleration is there due to the change of direction, and one tangential acceleration will be there. So as the speed is keep on increasing, tangential acceleration will be in this direction is there. Okay, because what I have told, speed is increasing, is it? So kindly see here. Okay, so now after that let's come to the next one here. As I have told you, let's see uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion what is there? See, direction of particle is varying, and second one what is there? Speed of particle is constant. Again we will see here. So again the particle is moving in a anti-clockwise direction, and let's take this is Vp, this is Vq, this is VR, and what is this here? This is the Vs. And here speed is constant. That means what we can tell, Vp is equal to Vq is equal to VR is equal to Vs, is it? And there will be the one centripetal acceleration towards the center. And remember that here this magnitude of centripetal acceleration will be constant, AC, because speed is constant, so centripetal acceleration will be also constant. So how much? Let's see the basic. In this motion, constant centripetal acceleration act towards the center due to change in direction of particle, and no tangential acceleration acts on the particle due to the constant speed of the particle. Okay, remember that. So if in case I write here the expression, so remember that here the centripetal acceleration is given by V square by R. Okay, because constant speed V, and the radius how much I am taking here, R. And how much tangential acceleration? Remember that here tangential acceleration is always given by dV by dt, and that will be how much here? 0, is it? Kindly see here. Now after that if we talk about here also, so here also let's see here centripetal acceleration. Let's take at point 1, this AC1, I can write here Vp square by R. Similarly AC2 Vq square by R, AC3 VR square by R, and AC4 Vs square by R. Na? So magnitude will be keep on changing. Direction is towards the center, but the magnitude will keep on changing. And what is the tangential acceleration? Remember that here dV by dt, and this will not be 0, is it? Can you see here? Okay, great. So now after that, what we are going to see? Now we are going to see the types of the non-uniform circular motion. How many types we will see? There are the two types are there. In first one, speed will increase. So see here, the type 1. So see, when tangential acceleration acts along the direction of velocity, then speed of the particle increases as shown in diagram. So here what will happen that, let's take at point P, I have taken, this is the speed Vp, is it? And what will happen that here, speed is going to increase. So when the speed will increase, what will happen? Tangential acceleration will act along the direction of the we can tell velocity, is it? So here what will happen that here, as you know very well, definitely one centripetal acceleration will act towards the center due to the change of the direction. So here you can see this AC and AT is making how much angle? 90 degree. Okay, and the resultant of this, if I draw here the resultant of this, so this will be this one here. Now this is the resultant of AC and AT, and I can write here what? A. So if in case I write resultant acceleration on the particle is how much here? So remember that here, this A is given by how much here? This AC square plus AT square, because angle between AC and AT is how much here? The angle between AC and AT is 90 degree, is it? That's why we can write the acceleration directly, that is called resultant acceleration. Next one, let's see, magnitude of acceleration here, is it? So if in case we write here the magnitude of the acceleration, anyhow this is the even the magnitude of the acceleration we can write here. Why? Because see here directly I have written here the magnitude, because as we know acceleration is a vector quantity na. So resultant acceleration I can write like this here first, AC plus AT na, in a vector form. After that, what is the magnitude of the acceleration? Now we can write here AC square plus AT square, is it? And what is the AC? Remember that here, V square at point P, that means Vp by R whole square, and here also because acceleration V square by R, and here whole square, so this one. And what is AT? AT is given by dV by dt whole square here, is it? So this is the magnitude. Next one, let's see, very important, angle between A and V. So A and V, let's take this is the A and this is my V. So angle between A and V is how much here? Kindly see, this is the acute angle. How can we see? See this one, this is the angle between A and VP, we can tell, is it? This is the angle theta. Now this is the angle between A and V. So this is the acute angle, that means we can tell what is the theta. Theta will be less than 90 degree. And after that, if in case we take the dot product of acceleration and velocity, this will be greater than 0, is it? Because we know very well A dot V will be A into V into cos theta. Okay, so cos theta for acute angle is positive, so this will be how much here? Greater than 0, is it? Can you see here? This one we have seen the increasing speed. Okay, now next one we are going to see here the decreasing speed. So let's see this one now. Type 2, when tangential acceleration AT acts opposite to the direction of velocity, then speed of the particle decreases as shown in a diagram. So here what I have taken, again let's take here at point P, what is there? The velocity is this side Vp, but tangential acceleration in which direction? Opposite direction. So let's take, this is my tangential acceleration AT. Okay, so now you can see this Vp and AT both in which direction? Opposite direction. Before that, Vp and AT both in which direction? Same direction. So speed was increasing. But now what will happen? Both are in opposite direction, so speed will decrease. And anyhow, there will be the centripetal acceleration. So resultant of both this acceleration will be represented by this one, by the, we can tell this is a parallelogram method. So this is the A, is it? So again angle between here AC and AT how much here? Here also angle between AC and AT is how much here? 90 degree. So if in case I just write here the resultant acceleration in a vector form as usual, same vector AT plus vector AC, is it? And what is the magnitude of the acceleration? Remember that here is square root of AT square plus AC square, or just like a previous we can tell AC square plus AT square. Now very similar to that. This is the values. Now the most important thing, if you will see here the angle between the velocity and the acceleration. So see, Angle between acceleration and velocity is obtuse. How can we tell obtuse? See here. This is the acceleration and this is the velocity. This is the angle. This is the angle between them, theta. Is it? So in that situation, what will happen that here? Remember that the angle theta will be how much here? Greater than 90 degree. Okay. And if in case we have to take here the dot product, vector A dot vector V, that will be less than 0, because as I have told you, vector A dot vector V means AV cos theta. And for the obtuse angle, what will happen? Cos theta will be negative. Is it? Kindly see here. So can you guess and tell to me what is the dot product of acceleration and velocity in a uniform circular motion? Here you can see there is the no tangential acceleration. Tangential acceleration is the 0. So this AC will be the direction of the resultant acceleration also. Is it? So here you can see acceleration and velocity will make how much here? Angle 90 degree. So for the uniform circular motion, what will happen? The dot product of acceleration and velocity will be 0. In which situation? In a uniform circular motion. Is it? So this is the uniform circular motion. This is the non-uniform circular motion when speed increasing. This is the non-uniform circular motion when speed is decreasing. Is it? Kindly remember all these things. Next one, we will see one application of the uniform circular motion, that is the conical pendulum. Very easy. Let's see now. If a particle of mass m is tied to a string of length L and rotate in a horizontal circle, then the arrangement is called conical pendulum as shown in a diagram. So see here, this is the conical pendulum. Na? Like this is there, na? This is rotating like this. Like this it is rotating. Now, so here what will happen that here? It is fixed from here. Length is L and let's take this angle is theta. So this angle is also theta. What is there? Vertically, not vertically opposite angle, we can tell alternate angle. And this is the radius of the path, na? Because like that here. As I have told you, like this it is rotating. So here the horizontal circle is there. Okay. So what will happen here? In the string, some tension will be there, T. Is it? So if we resolve the component of the tension, so let's take here this side here. This side, the component will be how much here? T cos theta. And this T cos theta will balance the weight of the object, na? Because we can see the particle of mass m. So weight downward. And what will happen that here? By the resolution of the vector, this side what will be there? This will be the T sin theta. Is it? So let's see here. The vertical component of the tension, that means T cos theta, balances the weight, while horizontal component, that means T sin theta, provides the centripetal force. So if in case I just write here the equation, so what can I write here? Remember that here I can write T sin theta. This will provide the centripetal acceleration, that means how much is there? mv square by r. And remember that in any circular motion, v equal to r omega, where omega is the angular velocity. So if I write here the value of v r omega, this will become here, remember that here, m r omega square. Okay. Next one, if I write here the vertical component, so this will become here what? T cos theta is equal to how much here? Mg. Okay, so let's take, this is my equation 1, this is equation 2, because we have to calculate the time period of this particle. So if in case I divide both this equation, so if I divide both this equation, what this will become here? Kindly see here, sin theta by cos theta is equal to mr omega square by mg. So both the sides what will cancel out? See, this m and this m is cancel, is it? So we can write here, see, this tan theta is equal to r omega square by g. Is it? So from here, if I write here the value of omega, what is the value of the omega? Kindly see here, it will become here square root of g tan theta by small r. Okay. After that, we have to write the value of small r also. Can you see here one triangle is there like this? Now one triangle, this is r, this is side r, this is side L. So if in this triangle, if I write here, what is the value of r by L? Now in this triangle, r by L. So this will be what here? Perpendicular. This is r is the perpendicular by hypotenuse. So what this will become here? Sin theta. So from here, if I write here the r will be L sin theta. Is it? What will be the r? R will be the L sin theta. This thing we will put here. So when I will put r as a L sin theta, so kindly see here, the moment I will put r as a L sin theta, and tan theta is sin theta by cos theta. Let me write here, see, g, this one here, sin theta by cos theta, and here what this will become here? R I have put here L sine theta. So both of them, what will happen that here? Kindly see here. This sine theta and this sine theta will cancel out. So what is the value of omega will become here? The value of omega will become here. Kindly see, square root of g by L cos theta. Is it? So this omega value we have to use it. Is it? So now if I write here the what is their time period? No? Time period of the simple pendulum will be given here what? Remember that if I write their time period. So the time period, that means the time taken to complete one rotation is called here what? T equal to 2 pi by omega. So this is 2 pi, and what is the value of the omega? As I have told you, what is the omega here? Kindly see, square root of g by L cos theta. Is it? So if I put this value here, so this will become here square root of L cos theta by g. This will be the time period of the conical pendulum. Remember the formula again, 2 pi square root of L cos theta by g. Is it? So just kindly see here very well. So students, I hope so this video is very clear to you. Keep studying, keep growing.